Shadow puppetry is an ancient art form practiced by many different cultures. You can practice this ancient art of storytelling in your very own home with a few simple materials and loads of creativity. Play around with different characters and scenery, scales and sizes. Make up your own stories. In this video, I'm going to show you two different scales of a shadow puppet. I'm going to make a large elephant with lots of moving parts, and I'm going to make a smaller turtle with just one moving part. The first thing you're going to want to do is find a box and trace around the piece of white paper that you have, and then create a frame on your box. You can use a box cutter, X-Acto knife, whatever kind of cutting tools you have at home. And then just get some of those flaps out of the way. You can either use them to help make your box stronger, you can add a little bit of tape to your paper and then put it behind your frame. Voila! An instant puppet theater! You can also create spots so that you can hold the puppets, manipulate the puppets from the top, or the side, or the back. This gives you just a bunch more options. Now you're ready to create your very own puppet characters. A great way to start is to think about a story you would like to turn into a puppet show. This can be a story that you are already familiar with or one that you make up on your own. The first thing you're going to want to do is do some sketching in your sketchbook of the different characters that you'd like to make. After you've done some sketching, you can go ahead and draw your pieces on cardstock or manila folder. You're going to want to draw the main body of your puppet and the moving parts separately. So if you'd like the puppet to move at their hips, draw their upper body and lower body separately. Now with the example I'm showing you here, this is an elephant with lots of different moving parts, so you get a sense of kind of how complex that is. Later on in the video, I will show you how to make a simple turtle with one moving part. So after you have all the pieces drawn out separately, you can go ahead, label them, and cut them out. You're going to cut out all the body parts, and sometimes it's helpful if you add a little bit of a nubbin or some extra material where you're going to join the two pieces. This helps especially when you are making a smaller puppet. That way there's space for the paper brad. So you're going to cut out all of your body parts, label them so that you know what's what, and then you're going to start to join the body parts together. If you forget to add extra paper, you can always add some. With this one, I am using a hole punch to make a hole in the head and then a hole punch in the body. You can use a hole punch, you can use an awl, however you make a hole, you want to be overlapping the two pieces. And then grab yourself one of the paper fasteners or joints or paper brads, they go by a lot of different names. You're going to thread the paper brad through the two holes, connecting the two body parts together. And on the other side, you're just going to separate the two pieces, laying them flat. Now, go ahead and do this with all of the joints that you have made. You want to attach all of your body parts, overlapping them, punching the hole either with a hole punch or an awl, and connecting them with a paper brad. Now that we we have all of our body parts attached, the elephant is complete, you can see how complicated it is with all the different moving parts. You can go ahead and add eyes or cut out any paper so that you can create areas where the light shines through. Now we're going to add the rods. We're going to take a piece of tape, lay it over, push it down, and we would like the masking tape to extend beyond the coffee stirrer or skewer just a little bit. This allows it to kind of flap back and forth or have a hinge so that we can hold the shadow puppet up, down, however we need to when we're performing it. You're going to attach a rod to the main body and to the parts you want to make move. A lot of the movement is going to come passively just because the joints are loose enough. So you don't really need a rod on every single part. My suggestion would be is to choose one or two body parts that you would like to make move, as well as the main body. And now I'm going to show you how to make a whole nother character, a turtle. This one will be much simpler with less moving parts. So I played around with a few different sketches, and now I'm going to redraw my turtle on the cardstock the way I like it. Remember to always create the moving parts separately. You're going to draw them separately, cut them out separately, so that you can join them together. In addition to cutting out the shapes and joining them together to create movement, it's really fun to play around with taking away material by poking holes, using hole punches, and removing some of the paper so that the light can shine through. Shadow puppetry is all about playing with positive and negative space, so play around and see what you can do. There are oodles of online resources about shadow puppets. Check out the links in this lesson plan and explore some of your own for other ways to make shadow puppets. Get some inspiration for your own shadow puppet story. Watch as many shadow puppet shows as you can. I would think that's probably the best way to jumpstart your own creativity if you're really interested in shadow puppets. Now we're ready to attach the rods to the back of our shadow puppet. We're going to do it in the same way that we did it with the elephant, but this time we'll only need 2 rods because we only have 2 body parts. Once you have your puppets complete, play around in your theater. Get your lights set up and just see what these puppets can do. I'm using an LED light shining from the back. You can always make your shadow puppet theater larger or smaller depending on the size of the puppets you'd like to make. Also, it's a lot more fun if you give your characters some scenery to interact with. Where is your story taking place? In this case, my story is taking place on a deserted island with a palm tree, and this turtle has found the only shady spot on the island. Thanks for watching, and best of luck to you as you create your own shadow puppet stories.